And Manchester is blue, as if you didn't already know. City have thumped United again in the derby. The final score 4-1. I'm Natalie Pike and I'm finally not nervous. 87 minutes in, I decided that I wasn't nervous anymore. Still joined by David James and Darius Vassell. The party continues outside in the stadium. David, what did you make of the game?
What a game. What a game. I mean, not just the scoreline and the quality of the goals, the fact that we were able to influence the fans to let them know that the last goal was onside before anyone else. Explain what happened. So we're watching the screen, obviously, and we've got the TV screen here. And yeah, the fans here just asked us, is it offside? And we've gone, yeah, hang on a minute. And we sort of keep them updated. And then as soon as we found out that it was onside, told them, they started cheering, and then it was announced to the stadium. So you got it here first. City TV, live at the game. So City's fourth goal, scored by Riyad Mahrez, was originally ruled offside, checked by the video assistant referee. So we have a screen here in the studio, and we are looking at it, and I'm saying, he's on! He's on! He's on, and it's quiet in the stadium, and then we get the ruling first in here. We all cheer, wave to the crowd outside who haven't seen it yet. They start cheering, and then everybody else finds out. So we really feel like we were sort of in the forefront of the breaking news there. But what an incredible second half. So let's have a little chat about Mahrez. So 2 goals for Kevin De Bruyne in the first half, 2 goals for Riyad Mahrez in the second half. So Darius, the first one came in the 68th minute from a corner from Kevin De Bruyne. If you can remember it after everything else that's happened, fill us in on what happened with that goal.
Yeah, it was really well worked, to be fair. We're sitting in a good position to have a look at the corner. The corner's gone in, and I'm thinking, well, why is he kicking it, so far away from goal? What they've actually done, it's something they've worked on, obviously, is they've ran everybody underneath the ball, and it's freed it up to Mahrez, who's out on the other side of the pitch, who's managed to, work the ball and get a shot off on a goal. The technique that he's used to score is what I'm most impressed with. Again, I say, when you're not on your game, you lash at these things, you try and hit it with your laces and power it into the net. He side-footed it as if it was a pass to a teammate right into the corner of the goal. It has took a deflection, but the fact that he's gone with a bit of control has meant that he's been able to put enough power on the ball for it to get to the destination, and a great time for City to score, I think.
And it really did look like a really cleverly worked set piece that we'd been practicing. You can see John Stones is involved in the movement as well, and it really paid off. That was the key, because Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, you got Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, I don't know what Phil Foden was thinking all the way through this game, because he knew he was never going to take a corner, but Kevin De Bruyne gestured to John Stones to run into the 6-yard box. It drew a few United players. Then, as Darius said, the ball goes out, and it's like, okay, but then Laporte kind of ducks out the way to allow Mahrez to shoot. All of that had to be organised. It had to be in perfect synchronisation, and it was. And like Darius said, I mean, there was a little deflection, but the quality of the strike, the quality of the ball out in the first place, if you work on a training field to do that special corner, the amount of times it doesn't work, the times when it does work, like today, is perfect. That's 3-1. That's the game pretty much done. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Yeah, 3-1 with just over 20 minutes to go. And sometimes I wonder how biased I am, Darius, so maybe you can give some levelness here. It felt like United weren't in the game at all in that second half.
There weren't as much as there were in the first half, and I think that is credit to City. After that goal, City went on from strength to strength. It really was exciting to watch. You've got Cancelo doing overhead kicks, you've got all kinds of things going on, left side of the goal, right side of the goal, shots raining in, and United really did struggle to get out or to have as much advantage as they had in the first half, but I think the credit goes to City for that, the way that they played and the way that they came on in the game. It was impressive.
Yes, tell us about that Cancelo chance. So it came in the 81st minute, and it hooked, volley, bicycle, I don't know, how would you describe it?
A bicycle kick, I'd say, but we've all been there at school, haven't we, in the playground? The ball is perfect, the ball comes over high in the air, everything goes into slow motion, and some people land on their neck and miss the ball. He actually made a really good contact on the ball, and again, a lot of control there. Goalkeeper was forced into a really good save, but it would have been amazing if that went in. But it's great entertainment for the fans that were here. I mean, this is the reason why they buy the tickets, to come and watch this type of football.
And then the fourth goal comes with just a couple of minutes to go. Riyad Mahrez gets his second of the game, David.
Yeah, again, I mean, the offside bit, it was onside, as you rightly said, Natalie. I think, though, one thing we cannot avoid is the substitutions.
and Pogba came off. And I know Sean Goat was saying it in the commentary there, and I was like, Pogba, why are you bringing Pogba off? We scored just after Pogba. I don't think the actual substitutions influenced the goal in itself, but there was no chance for United to get back into it. By the time Mahrez scores the fourth, City are just absolutely running riot, aren't they? They look like they were waiting for that opening. Jack Grealish down this side, the great run by Riyad Mahrez, and a great finish. I mean, Darius is saying about being composed and using the side of the foot. He leathered that. like it was a pen.
Yeah. If you'd have given me another half an hour there, I would have taken it, considering how nervous I'd been the entire game. By the last 5-10 minutes, it was just thoroughly enjoyable. A couple of notes that I wrote down just around the work rate of the entire team, Darius. The work rate for this team collectively is insane. It
is, and it's every player now. They do make mistakes like other teams, not as many as other teams, but the players that are working to get back into position for each other, it's really good to see. Again, they've got the result as well. So whenever you're working that hard and you get a result to boost it, it just means you're motivated to work just as hard in the next game. They're getting rewarded well for working hard. And for a team of players with so much quality, when you're talking about work rate and you're still talking positive about that, you know that you're talking about a team in a good place.
And a word on Kevin De Bruyne as well, David. I felt like he was so lethal at points that the only way United could stop him was essentially by fouling him.
Yeah, and he's a very clever player. The booking on Maguire. Again, I was listening to Sean saying Maguire took one for the team. I think Kevin De Bruyne basically wrote the script for that tackle or that challenge, because he was in a great position, nice weight on the ball, and he knew that he could make it. But this is what you're dealing with. And you're talking about the work rate. It's all the other things around it as well. Positioning of players, the understanding, like the goal from Mahrez from the corner. When everyone's on the same page, you get performances like that. And I'm talking about Pogba. This wasn't that United could win or get back anything from the game, but they had a bit of danger. They weren't on the same page at times in the first half, but what you saw from City, and you asked me about the team starting lineup, it was a winning team.
Oh, it was a winning team. Now, if you were enjoying the commentary on the Manchester City app with Alistair Mann and Sean Goater, you'll know that our Goats was doing the postman in the middle of his commentary. He was just having a wonderful, lovely time. This is Sean Goater's thoughts at the end of the match.
Wow, I have to say, what a derby this was. I have to say, listen, when we played them at Old Trafford, we won 2-0, and I thought that could have been one of the best performances I've seen from a City team, keeping the crowd quiet, dominating the game. But this game here today, to a man, in terms of how they all interchanged, how they were able to maneuver the ball. When Man United pressed, they were able to break that press and then go on and attack and create great opportunities. It was absolutely superb, outstanding football. City just took it to another level. And I know it's been a question that's been asked about City. Can City play with, or that City need a centre forward? Well, I can tell you categorically, City do not need a centre forward. What I had seen here today, without a shadow of a doubt, for me, it's the best performance in a City derby by far. We've had the 6-1 where we absolutely dominated, annihilated them. My time of it, the 3-1. We've had a lot of good derbies, but this one, in terms of tactical nous and just outplaying them, and again, they've got some really good players on their team. This one, for me, will be remembered, or should be remembered, as the best derby, because when we talk about tactics, we saw today, Pep Guardiola is an absolute genius.
So are you, Sean Goater. You're a genius, and we absolutely love you. So Sean Goater was doing the Poznan and his celebrations, and the celebrations were taking place all over the world. City fans around the world celebrating the derby win. Again, there's Nigel de Jong celebrating at the Dubai Expo 2020. Now, Partly I'm so relieved, David, because it was a derby win, and derby games are always huge, but this game had an extra edge to it for me because we needed to win it. We needed to win it for the points more than we needed to win it for the pride.
Exactly. When you see Liverpool winning 1-0, I think Jurgen Klopp said straight after the game, it wasn't their best performance, but it was a win. I think City need this, not just for the Premier League. The City are still favourites to win the Premier League. It's not about that, but they need the challenge week in, week out, to keep, I say keep people honest, it's a bit of a throwaway term, but you saw the way the City played today. You can argue they might do that because it's a derby game, but when you think, good, we've extended the lead by another 3 points, that means Liverpool have still got to win games, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that requires you to be the best team continues on for another week, continues on for a week, and the longer this continues, it's not just Premier League, you're looking at the Champions League as well. And I think if City are still, and obviously I've got other teams in this race, but if City are still in a competitive mood at the end of the season, going into those last few weeks of the season, then that has got to put them in the best position to win the Champions League.
And that performance today, Darius, it felt like it was needed. Obviously, we had the defeat to Spurs, then we played Everton in that really big 1-0 win where we weren't particularly playing our best. So we felt like we really needed to remind everybody of how good we are.
Yeah, remind everybody else and remind each other themselves on the pitch what they're capable of when they really step it up. If you were a Liverpool team and looked at City's fixtures, you look at this one and you say, City might not get something there. There's a chance United could win. Completely thrown that in the water in the manner in which they've done it. So it makes, as David said, the pressure for the other teams to get close to City even higher, because the manner in which they're doing it now is they're looking untouchable right now.
Apart from Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, we've talked about, who else was the kind of standout players for you in today's game, David?
Well, obviously Mahrez towards the end, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden at times. I mean, this is the thing. I think what I love about this City side, you're not looking for one man to be brilliant all the way through the game. You're looking for your brilliant players to do brilliant bits when they need to. The first goal, as I say, when you've got Jack Grealish running down the line to cut it back for Bernardo Silva, little moves like that require a level of skill and ability just to open up an opportunity for someone else. Then Kevin De Bruyne, as Darius said, with a wonderful finish at the end of it. I think you go through, most of the team, and even like Ederson, with his big save at 1-0. It wasn't the game changer, or it didn't turn the game in any sense, but it was as good as a goal in some sense. So Ederson didn't kick the ball over the halfway line today.
Yeah,
he tried. He nearly cleared the stand, but it's kind of everybody did what they needed to do at the time that they needed to do it. That is a sign of a fantastic team.
And give us your big stat as well that you predicted before the game.
The stat, yeah. City, the first team to score more than 2 goals against Ralph Rangnick's Manchester United. That is so good. Because
they have been really defensively solid. You know, they've had a lot of draws, but they've been defensively solid. So
yeah, but this is the thing. I always
forgot.
I always think you come up against certain teams and you think we're not going to score many goals, and then all of a sudden it's like we can win 2-1.
There's another stat as well, isn't there? The Mahrez one.
Yes. Yeah. First time he scored against them.
Yeah. First time he scored against Manchester
in 12, I think it is.
Yeah. And he scored 2.
Scored 2, yep.
Yes,
and he didn't just score 2, he scored one of the best goals of the season.
Yes, he did, Blues. Yes, he did. I'm so happy right now. One thing I'm not happy about is I still haven't worked out whose stat. So let's have a look at the third clue now. We'll recap you on clue 1 and clue 2 as well. So who is this current or former Manchester City player? This player is one of a select few to win every title in the English game, including PFA Young Player of the Year. This player is a former teammate of both David James and Darius Vassell. Clue 3. This player holds the record for the fastest to 50 goals in Premier League history. Okay, gents, who is it?
Well, he's my teammate at Man City. Scored with my other teammate at Man City, Darius Vassell, in the derby.
Okay.
And he's my teammate at Portsmouth.
Okay.
I'm going for Andy Cole.
Certainly is Andy Cole, and I can tell by the image. Yeah.
Getting
Andy Cole. I was nowhere near that. Absolutely nowhere near that. Congratulations to the both of you and to everybody at home that got that one right. Also, we have a big congratulations for the winner of our Cadbury's Eclair counting competition. I was trying to work out what to call it there. So for the last week, as you'll know through the Matchday Live shows over the last week, we've been running a competition where you had to count the number of Cadbury's Eclairs in the jars. We had 2 big full jars that I have to confess is now 1.5 big full jars as I munched my way through eclairs to try and ease my nerves. We asked you to tell us how many eclairs were in the jars, and the person that was going to win is going to get a Bernardo Silva signed shirt. Now, to work out how many eclairs were in those jars, we decided we'd get an England legend into the studio and make him sit on the floor and count them. David, how did you end up doing this?
I was here early, as you can tell by the background, and I thought this has to be a fair, properly conducted competition, and I only ate them after I'd counted.
I love it. I got in and David was really early and I was like, why is David James sitting on the floor of the studio counting eclairs? And then I was like, right. So David, can you remember what you got to? We did write it down.
I don't know, I've probably eaten a third of them. You've eaten the other third. Was it 459?
It was 449. Very good.
Okay.
449 eclairs in the combined jars. There's now less than 400 easily by me alone. So I can reveal the winner of the signed Bernardo Silva home shirt. Congratulations to Steve-O, 1862, Mr. Brightside, he calls himself on Twitter. Brilliant, brilliant name. He guessed 449 for the sweets. Steve in Kimberley. Congratulations, Steve. We will be in touch with you to send you this Bernardo Silva signed home shirt. A big congratulations to you. I'm not taking those. One of you's going to have to take them. I can't take them home, David. I'll be sick.
I think we should send Steve-O the empty wrappers.
Steve-O, I'm sorry, there is a lot. I was really nervous during that. But yeah, big congratulations to Steve-O. So, gents, the games continue to come thick and fast. On Wednesday, Darius, we play in the second leg of the Champions League last 16. Now, obviously, we're going into this game with a 5-0 aggregate. What sort of game are you going to be expecting?
I expect other players to get opportunities to get on the pitch, get their minutes. I'd expect some players to get rested, obviously, as well. The game seems to be pretty much done and dusted. And again, coming off the back of this result, I don't see why there should be any sort of ill feeling towards players not being in the team and all of those things which upset camps. I think it'll be a good opportunity for the team to get everybody else an opportunity to play.
How many changes do you think we might see to the team that started today?
Well, I'm thinking, I agree, in principle, I agree totally with what Darius is saying. However, in order to keep the fluidity in the team, to keep this sort of drive, I'm not a fan of momentum, but just to keep everybody in the right place, I think make a few changes and maybe bring players off earlier in the game and then give people sort of minutes in the second half. So if I'm going to say a number, sort of 3, 4 maybe. If it turns into 8 and 9, 10 changes, then all of a sudden it's like, hang on a minute, this is like an interruption of the rhythm of the squad.
Oh, okay. I like that. So you think the importance of keeping the rhythm up?
Yep.
And
because it's not just about the game, it's about training as well. So if for argument's sake, Pep's in the change room now saying, right lads, you're all off midweek, I'm going to play the other another 11. Then they're not going to train properly. Mm-hmm. Their training will be slightly disrupted, and then you go into the Premier League games or the next games, and all of a sudden there's a bit of a disruption. I like that fluidity in training because, as we saw with Kevin De Bruyne in Mahrez's corner, training is where you win games of football, not just on the field during the 90 minutes.
What do you think Sporting will be thinking as they come here, Darius? Do you think they will want... Do you think they think they're still in it, or...?
No, I think it'll be damage limitation in the nicest possible way. If anything happens in the game which they can build off, of course, they'll run with that. But I think that they don't want 5 to turn into 10 aggregate, you know. No one would want that. So I think the fact that they're probably going to come out with that mentality gives City the opportunity to give some younger players and players who have been on the fringe, you know, a good amount of minutes. And as JMO says, without disrupting the fluidity too much.
And then we have a little break because we then play on the Monday night. So Liverpool play before us, and then we'll play on the Monday night against Palace. So we will get that kind of a bit of a break between that Champions League game and the Monday night game to sort of rest up. But I guess in the kind of momentum that we're in, David, the games coming thick and fast isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah, at the end, it's all about what. And again, we haven't got the crystal ball in that sense. But I just think that there has to be an organisation. One thing about City, as much as I'm saying that, they have a record of stringing win after win after win after win. So Pep knows what he's doing. I think the break, in some sense, again, another reason why players on Wednesday, and then they've got a bit of a break afterwards. Again, Sporting aren't expecting to win this game. But I'd be surprised if Sporting don't come here saying, let's do something to see what happens. You know, sending off early and 2 quick goals, all of a sudden the tie has a different complexity to it. So make sure you win. Make sure you get through. Then worry about the break. Then worry about Crystal Palace.
Thank you very much, gents. So that game is Wednesday night. Kickoff is 8 o'clock. We'll be on air from 6:45, and Kel will be here, joined by Esme Morgan and Nadem Anua. Andy Morrison will also be on co-coms with Alistair Mann. Love Andy Morrison's co-coms, so that is going to be fantastic. So a big thank you to David James, big thank you to Darius Vassell. You really did calm me nerves. Imagine what it would have been like without you. Thank you very much. So, Blues, we've won the Manchester Derby again. That is 6 points taken off the old foes this season. Hopefully that might keep them quiet for a little while. We'll be back on Wednesday as we return in the Champions League. Have a wonderful week. Look forward to going in work on Monday. Look forward to speaking to those red friends that you have, because I will have a big cheesy grin from now on. Thank you for joining us on Matchday Live, and we will be back on Wednesday night. We'll see you then.
The Blue Run is back for 2022.
3, 2, 1.
Join us on Saturday, 26th of March. Why not get involved? All funds will help City in the Community mental health program. Dress up in blue, dye your hair blue, paint your veins blue, wear your City kit. Under 5s go free.